Greetings. Today we continue part 2 of Christmas Ponderings. The birth, the life, and the death of John the Baptist is inseparably linked to the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ in the Scriptures. One, they were cousins or kinsmen according to the flesh. Two, technically John the Baptist was 6 months older than Jesus according to the flesh. But three, John acknowledges that Jesus was eternally older than him in actuality. Four, John was the fulfillment of prophecy, as was Jesus. We read and understand from scriptures that God had given Israel the dreaded, quote, silent treatment for some 400 years because they had not been listening to what he had to say. The very last thing he said before the silence began was the words of Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 through 6, where it says, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." In the book of Luke 1:17, we find the declaration that John the Baptist would be the fulfillment of this prophecy as the forerunner of the long-awaited Messiah. It says, "And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias," or Elijah, Old Testament pronunciation, "to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord." Further, Jesus declared this prophecy had been fulfilled in John the Baptist in the book of Matthew chapter 11 and verse 14, when he said, "And if you will receive it, this is Elias," or Elijah, "who was to come." In the book of Matthew chapter 17, we find the account of the transfiguration of Jesus in his conversation with Moses and with Elijah. Peter, James, and John asked a question afterwards which involved a certain prophecy concerning Elijah. Now we must remember that the subject matter which was discussed by Jesus, Moses, and Elijah was the imminent death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus according to Luke 9:31. But in Matthew 17:10 it says, "And his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must come first? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall come first and restore all things." Again in verse 12 he says, "But I say unto you that Elias is already come, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed or desired. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them." Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. You know, this is one reason why the Jewish people, in failing to understand what Jesus was saying, are still looking for Elijah to return and then Messiah following that. One reason why many want to make Elijah one of the two witnesses in the book of Revelation also.